Hello everybody and welcome to another fourth party knockoff review, I guess. As you've probably guessed by my recent posts on my Facebook page, I now have in hand the knockoff oversized TFC Uranos, which in itself is a homage to Superion. First off the bat, you may notice a slight oddball in this collection, the fact that we have a painted up Blastoff, which in itself is actually an oversized KO of Warbotron's Airburst. Okay, the colours for these are a little bit all over the shop. Bear in mind the set is just under $60. You are still getting a lot of plastic for your money, but this is mainly for the people that are prepared to paint and change some of the applications on some of the jets. I'll just show you what I mean. For all intents and purposes, Skydive is actually probably the most accurate to the TFC release. He's actually the correct jet. Okay, yes, he has his missiles mounted on the side here, and they are a different colour. And he doesn't have the missiles on the top here, but he's still pretty close to what they gave us. Air Raid, on the other hand, not so much. He's red. They've kind of given him semi-Fireflight colours and called him Air Raid. Obviously, it is Air Raid. He's the correct jet, but he has that very red paint scheme. Not impossible to paint over. This guy's pretty much just bolted together with a few screws. You can just unscrew that and spray that up black. And they've already done the wings for us anyway. Again, Slingshot is a fairly good representation of what TFC gave us. Very, very true to the original form. Even the missiles are a similar colour, albeit they are kind of built upside down. But at least it's the right colour and at least it's the right jet. Now, we've already briefly touched on Fireflight. Yeah, I don't really understand why they'd give us 4 of the jets and not a Fireflight. I know people are buying these up separately and they're giving them their own custom paint jobs. I think the ones I saw were they'd done Slingshot up in the red colour and just kind of rounded the nose cone. It's probably the nearest they were going to get. But they must release one because this is definitely the weakest of the bunch. Plastic quality build, even the looks, it just doesn't look right. And finally, the head honcho himself, Silverbolt. Really like Silverbolt, actually. He's really nice. He's very hollow. The plastic, if you own any knockoff figures, the plastic quality is probably the next step up from the KO Hexatron. Nothing on par with likes of the KO Masterpiece figures, anything like that. Nothing as high end as that. But these, by all means, are not terrible. They are quite robust. They easily survive a shelf dive. But if you put stress on those joints and do bend in ways they're not meant to bend, then they will snap. All these jets do still have the opening cockpit feature, all bar Blastoff, of course. I wonder if they gave us Blastoff because they looked at what Hasbro gave us with their Combiner War series and like, oh, the public like having 4 Autobots and 1 Decepticon as a limb. It's a possibility. I'm going to quickly go into the transformations for these jets now. If you'd like to see specific pictures of any of these jets, then please just drop me a comment in the comments section below and I'll upload a full gallery to Benscollectables.com. It's going to be a long video, just trying to skim through it. Let's start off with a Blastoff because he is, of course, the oddball of the group. You just want to just extend the legs, which are very stiff in there, but then you get the wibbly wobbly joints. Just want to fold the sections over, flop that like so. You want to just pop the legs apart. Again, these are tabbed in exceptionally well. The sword comes out of the storage section. I'll just put that to one side. The feet you can just pop back, flip the foot panel down, flip the foot panel down, untab, and untab that section there. That now allows us to unpeg these 2 sections at the back and bring those arms round like so. Flip the fists out. That's a fist, apparently. There we go. And just tab that in. Again with this side, flip the fist out. Rotate that around to the appropriate position, like so. And then you want to just fold this section down, this section down, and this section at the back here, unfortunately, is in a fixed position. Now, I've seen a lot of people put the sections here on the arm panels. I just think that looks way too bulky if you put them on the arm panels. Let's just place his sword in hand. There we go. Here we go. And there we have Blast Off. Articulation. Head is on a very slight ball joint. Up, down, left, and right. Shoulders can go forwards, backwards, up, down, swivel joint at the chest section there. You've got a ball jointed elbow, albeit a little bit loose. Also have a ball jointed fist. We don't actually get that with a lot of the third party items. That's actually quite a nice touch. We have a rotation at the waist. You've got a ball on the thigh, so we can go that far out. Wibbly wobbly knees. Really just need to get in there and tighten those joints. Nice range there. Can kick back all the way up. We have an upper thigh swivel. We have a almost 90-degree bend. And we have up and down motion on the foot. No pivots at all. Next up, let's transform Air Raid. You want to flip all the landing gear up if they're not already up. Flip the side panels down. They can come down and just go over the chest like so. This section's going to go all the way back, and as it goes back, it folds inwards like so. You want to just remove his weaponry. We're going to have those in his hands. You can then just fold the wings back for now to get them out of the way. You want to extend the waist by untabbing the arms. Untab the arms, and then just pull that section down. That can now come apart and split. Flip the heel spurs backwards, like so. Flip that section back, flip that section back. We'll just sort out these shoulder blades now. So rotate the arms down, and that's going to fold inwards, revealing the fist. Go on this side, shoulder up, that section down. That's going to fold inwards, revealing the fist. Not sure what's meant to be the top of the fist. That possibly. Fold the chest section down. Flip the head up and fold that section back in like so. Finishing touches, just swing the leg sections up and fold these wings back in on themselves like so and out of the way. That's him. Let's put his guns in his hands. I say that loosely. And put that in. I mean, they've got a lot of potential. You can imagine these having the who made it? Was it the fans made? The hands, think it was, wasn't it? You've got a nice, different head sculpt on there. A lot of light piping on there. More light piping than head. But you've got a really nice range there. Up, down, left, right on a ball there. Again, you've got an up and down motion. Great range on that shoulder. Up, down. 90-degree bend there. We don't have a rotation at the wrist this time, but we do have a left and right motion where it kind of swings in and out. If I just move these wing panels up here behind the shoulders, then we get a better range of motion on the waist. There's no hindrance there from the wings. Again, you've got a ball joint on the thigh, thighs there. Nice range up, much tighter on him than it was on Blast Off. Backwards motion is a little bit hindered by the backpack there. Upper thigh swivel. Very, very tight joint there. And a bit of a pathetic knee bend. Goes a lot further forwards than it does backwards. Toes can move up and down. No ankle pivot at all. Next up, we have Slingshot. Let's just close up his canopy. Let's flick the wheel on the inside there. As you can see, this section is actually going to go all the way up, and you can then flip the tail section up and flip that all the way up, and that's going to tab into the cockpit section. I like that. That's very G1, isn't it? Very, very G1-esque. As you can see, the arms are just tabbed in on the side here. We're going to untab here, and that's going to fold up, and it's going to form pretty much exactly the same arms again, so just fold that down. Untab from the side. fold that up, flip that down, and fold the fists down. We're going to remove these launchers for now. They just get in the way. Flip the head around. Ah, look at that for a face. That's a face only a mother could love. And I think the shoulders are due to go like this, aren't they? To bring those down. There we go. We can then just flip the... Oh, that's come on tab, look. That's the trouble with buying knockoffs, isn't it? They don't generally tab in as well as they should do. We can just untab the wing from the top section here. Untab the wing from the top section on there. That will now give us the ability to wiggle down and extend his legs. We can then just separate those. And then you just want to tidy these legs up by rotating them round and flipping that up like so. It just gets that out of the way. Ah, this back kibble's annoying. Great idea when it works. There we go. Bring that back up and tab that back in. Nothing tabs together super securely on these at all. And here he is in his bot mode. I don't like his little wheel toes. I would like real feet. They're like curly shoes. The wings do kind of fold out of the way of the legs. Would like them to have tabbed in maybe, just to keep a little bit secure. And the face sculpt looks more like a kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow on there than actual main applications. To be honest with you, the paint on all of these is pretty terrible. It's flaking. There's chips all the way along. But like I said at the beginning of the video, these are really for customizers to make a masterpiece scaled Superion. The head does move up and down, left and right. You've also got the up and down tab here. The shoulders, again, are on ball joints. You've got a nice range there, although this ball is extremely loose on that shoulder. We do have a bend at the elbow, like so. And we do have a flippy floppy left and right on the wrist. The waist does rotate if you just move the legs forward a little bit so it doesn't hit. There is free rotation there on the waist. Again, we've got those ball joints on the thighs, up. Oh, really stiff on this one. Forward. That's actually a ratchet on there, is there? No, that's not a ratchet. That's just a really tight ball joint. Back. And we do have a swivel. And of course, bend at the knee. And just twinkle toes. Nothing happening down there. Next up is skydive. Flip up the undergear. Flip down the panels to go over his shoulders. Just flip back the cockpit. Locate that back. And rock it on that joint so it flips upwards. Untab the arms. It's a very, very straightforward transformation for all of these, really. Flip the arm round. We can remove his guns and peg those into his hands. Untab, lift up, rotate down, close off those arms. Put the gun in the hand, like so, and then we can just grab and just untab the wings. They are just tabbed into the base section. Extend those legs fully. They can collapse, collapse, split. It's definitely the nicest cosmetically to look at. Really, really great figure. Can lift that section up, can't we, to give him a better range of motion on the back there, but that is mainly designed for the combiner mode. Let's flip this down, get the head up, like so. And there we have it. Let's fold those wings back and in. Back and in. I suppose they should really, in theory, come up, shouldn't they? So let's just untab those. They should come up and over like that. I think this is the official transformation for them. Yeah, it does look better, doesn't it? So let's just again just flip that up. Flip that one over. Flip that bit in and pop that in there. That's better. Look at that. Articulation, same old, same old. Head up, down, left, right. That rocker there. Ball jointed shoulders. Great range. She's actually got some of the tightest joints here, so you can get some really nice pow gangster shooting there. There's a ball inside there. There's a nice bend at the elbow. You do have the left and right motion on the wrist. The waist does swivel. Again, it is hindered by this back section here, but you do have the option to move that upwards. Nice forwards. Back, again hindered by this section. Upper thigh swivel. And you can't pull the knees out any more than that. That is literally the only knee bend you get on these, which is a real bummer. Really is. And again, we have some curly shoes. Last but not least is Mr. I'm Scared of Heights Silverbolt. Put up his front cargo. Silverbolt does actually have the biggest amount of parts forming out of all of them. If we just untab his arms from the underside of the front of the jet, we should just then be able to slide this out and untab the gun, and that whole front section there is actually going to form a weapon. That's actually quite a big waste, if you ask me. If we just untab these jet thrusters at the top here and at the bottom, that now allows us just to bring those up, untab from there, up and around the back for now, get them out of the way. So just untab from the arm section as well, like so. Just bring that up and out of the way. As you can see, he's upside down. Just bring his legs down. So we need to just pull down and extend the legs fully, like so. Again on this side, pull down and extend that leg fully. His waist at the moment is actually round the wrong way, so lift up the back section, gives you enough clearance to rotate that round. Rotate the thigh so it's facing forwards. You then want to bring this cap section up like so, and that's going to flip around. That's going to form the kneecap. You can then bring his toe out like so and bring his toe out like so. If you come around to the back here, this section needs to be folded up. I think the official transformation for the original Uranos version of Silverbolt, they just kind of sat up there, I believe. Now the shoulders are just tabbed in behind there, so just pull those away from that back tab, which is easier said than done because they tab in so securely. But once they're out, you're laughing. There we go, that one out, and that one out to follow. Brings the shoulders down, and then it gives you free range here. You can then flip the fists down, and same on this side, bring that down, and flip the fist down. You can then take his gun, split the front of this section open, that goes down, that goes down. That's kind of like his smaller rifle, and he's got the tab there, so we can bring that into his hand and just kind of tab that floppy mess in. Oh dear. As you can see, the downside of Silverbolt is the black section does need tightening. It doesn't really stay upright in gun mode. But as far as Silverbolt goes, I actually really like him. I love the detailing on the chest. It's a good head sculpt, although he does look a bit like a matron. Really strange head sculpt. Great range of motion down. Really great upwards motion, left and right. He's definitely the most articulated of all of them. You've got an up and down motion on there. You do have a rotation at the actual shoulder. You have a ball socket in there as well, so you've got another rotation there. We do have a bend at the arm, although the bend at the arm does kind of go really high and it kind of comes out, and then it makes his fist look the wrong way around, and you can't rotate the fist, so it's a bit of a pointless elbow bend. I know it's part of the transformation, but I would have liked it to have done it so we can actually have the fists the correct way round. There is a waist swivel just underneath that big chunky monkey waist. The front section here do not move up, so you are somewhat limited to the amount of posability going forwards. And backwards is okay. The thighs do rotate, really, really stiff in there, and the joint does tend to slide in and out. It's just on a mushroom peg, it does slide a bit. That's an angry looking face, isn't it? Once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. The knees kind of bend really, really well, but that's a really low knee bend. And the toes do move up and down. How do they scale with the rest of the Masterpiece Autobots, I hear you ask? The answer? Exceptionally well. Yes, the aesthetics aren't there. They do need paint applications. Ideally, somebody out there could make kind of more anime accurate heads for these. I'm more than happy to give the measurements if they need them. I mean, but these are like less than $10 a figure, so hopefully we'll get some sort of third-party heads for these. That'd be really, really good. But yes, I think they fit in really well. I mean, just look at the size of Silverbolt. He is pretty much up to Prime's kind of eye level, I think. And that's pretty much spot on. Now, I'm not going to get all of my classic Combiner War figures out, but as you can see here with Silverbolt, they are a lot bigger. The rest of my aerial bots are actually in my repro labels to review queue, so I'll be adding the repro labels on, putting some more repro label videos up soon. But I digress. Yes, these are a lot bigger than the Combiner Wars figures. I think they're actually a much better scale. For those of you wanting to face them off against your other combiners, here is Wukong's Brawl, aka KO Heavy Noisy. They're even taller than him. Right, let's get Silverbolt and the rest of the aerial bots transformed up into Superion. First step you want to do, you want to rotate his waist all the way around. You then want to come down to this leg. You want to fold the leg inside itself like so. Just flip that over. You can push that joint up like that. You can then slide this rocking joint all the way up onto there and then fold that knee section up. If you look underneath here, we've got these pegs. You want to flip those down. They are really, really tight pegs. You may need a screwdriver or something similar to get those out. My neck come up. Really, really tight pegs, but surely that bodes well, doesn't it? You want to just rotate this section around like so. Again on this side, up. Rotate that around like so and put that up out of the way. You want to move the shoulder back up to this section like it was in jet mode, and that's just going to tab into there. And as you bring this section down, that's going to reveal the peg there. And there's a tab just underneath there. That's going to tab in underneath. If we can line that up, and that's going to secure those in place. These are going to form the arm tabs. We can now open up this chest section, and the Superion head is just inside. You want to just flip that forwards. Again, access on this is not the best at all. I'm going to need to use my screwdriver again. Just flip that up. That's going to come up and over, and there's a tab just in the side of, just in the top there of Silverbolt's head. That's going to come up, and that's going to tab into the top of his head. And we can tab that back on like so. Now we actually get add-on accessories. Unfortunately, they don't do anything other than just add on in the combined mode. But as you can see here, we have the tab there and a tab there. They're going to tab in at the top of the chest, like so. You're going to push that on, and then there's these red tabs either side. They're going to come in and slot into the under armpits, like this. The rest of the aerial bots we pretty much transform semi back into their jet modes. And collapse the legs. Lift that up, the legs want to collapse all the way in. That one's, if you look on the underside here, there's actually tabs like the rest of the TFC stuff. You can just peg that in, slide that up, and you can then close the legs back together again. Just make sure they're collapsed fully. Plug the head in. The tab is on the top there. That's what's going to form the combiner ports. You then want to split the arms back again. And that's going to come down, and that's going to tab back into the side. And same with this side, just fold that down, split the arm, and that should tab in like so. And that's the leg. Exactly the same thing with the other leg. We've got this section at the bottom here where we can place the foot plate. I can just slide in like so. There we go. You want to collapse this leg, fold this in, collapse it all the way up like so, and that's going to tab in the other side of that tab. That's all going to peg together. We'll just move this section out of the way, move that section. Again, just split those arms up like so, bring that down, and that's going to just slide in and tab into place like so. And is that in fully? No, that's not in. There we go. There we go, that's firm. Flip the head down like that and just push that section closed. Well, we've got the legs here, we can just plug those straight in. That just goes in and clicks when it's in, and the same with this side. Just plug into that peg and that clicks when it's in. And that's what we're looking at the moment. It's huge! Now onto the arms. Unfortunately there's parts forming. It requires us to pop the wings off. Not really sure why. It just says that when you're putting these together you're meant to pop the wings off. I suppose it's to do with you haven't got a lot of space for error here. Make sure the shoulder section is up, and then you fold this section down. Pop the fist back up there, and basically the head is going to stay in that position. It just kind of just hides between his shoulder blades. Okay, each to their own. Again, fold that fist up, place that in there like so. Just collapse that leg, and before we close those off, we can just pop the fist in. Let's put that in there like so. Very much the same as what we got with the Starcats combiners as well. The same sort of fist. In fact, this whole set actually really does remind me very much of the Starcats combiners. Flip this section down, flip the head up, bring the tab section down like so, and then we can put the head back, and that's going to stay together. Honest, I just need to put some like future shine floor stuff on there to hold that, and the arm is just going to tab in on the side. The official transformation has it with these up like so, this one up like that, and the actual legs again back to the extended mode, so using those joints, but I don't think they're overly tight, these joints, and you don't get a great range of motion there really, but there we go. I'm going to snap this piece off in a minute. Yes, that's the arm. That fixes on to him. Last but not least, let's not forget our Decepticon arm. Flip the toes up, plug the hand in, and we're going to peg those sections together until they click into place, like so. We then just need to fold up this upper body section. All that involves us doing is just folding the fists back inside the arms. You then want to fold these cone sections up above the head, rotate the shoulder sections back, and if you do that with both of them, there's these two tabs on the back of those. They are going to rock in and tab in together. The trouble is these tabs are very, very tight, and it's not the easiest task to line them up. As you can see, you close the tab section off at the top here, shutting the top of the shuttle. You have to rotate the waist to give him any form of arm articulation, but in doing so, that then stops you from being able to close off this section here due to the bulk of the waist there. With the arms actually attached, I've cheated a little bit. I've just popped this off the ball socket because this section, waist section here, the way it's shaped, you can't actually have this on here and get these sections down. So I've cheated just by popping that off. We can now close that section off, so we now get a full arm there with no extra kibble. If we just pull down this front section, tab that in, that is now going to form the tab which goes into his arm. It's not perfect, but it does work. You can also extend the gun section, and you have to pull down the landing gear and use that as the handle. And there we have him. There we have Superion or Uranos. He is absolutely massive. He does look nice. The joints aren't as tight as I would have liked, basically because they're reliant on the bot's hip joints for the arms, which isn't ever ideal, but he looks outstanding. Just taking a look at the actual head. The head does move left and right, up and down slightly. The antenna do not extend on this. There is no waist swivel. It's kind of all locked in place now. If we just remove this gun, because it's ridiculous, it's just a mess. The arms move up and down. The trouble is you have to... It's a square peg and it should rotate on that joint, but I'm worried I'm actually going to pop those off completely. You've got the articulation on the arms, can move up, down, left and right. It's got a very camp wrist there. The wrists do tend to flop. It does go out. It does kind of hold its own weight. The legs move forward and back, but again, they do tend to drop. There's not really a knee bend. The ankles do pivot on a nice ratchet, so we can get a fairly wide stance, but his thigh joints will not hold him in place. I mean, detail-wise, he looks fantastic, but you have to be patient with him. You're going to have to sort out those joints. You're going to have to tighten them up. He is going to require some nice paint applications, but all in all, he is a very, very good looking figure, especially considering you're paying under $60 for a figure of this size. I mean, for custom fodder, I think it's an absolute steal. I mean, personally, scale-wise, I think you're definitely onto a winner with the Masterpiece line. He's absolutely massive. I mean, I think that's a very, very good scale. Here he is quickly with Combiner Wars Superion to give you an idea of his size. He's massive! And this, ladies and gentlemen, is my personal favourite and how he's going to be displayed in my collection. He's going to be fighting off against the mighty Titan class Devastator from our good guys over at Hasbro. Really think that scale works extremely well. Really does. Okay, the bad points, his joints are a little bit wobbly. They do need attention. The paint applications are, yeah. He could do with a good paint job. He doesn't have 4 Autobot limbs. One is a Decepticon in disguise. But all in all, it's a very, very good toy. It's more of a model or a project, I would say. But still, bang on the buck. I love it. I absolutely love it. Those naughty little knockoff guys have done it again, and they've given us a mighty combining robot. Thanks again to the guys over at Sirtoys for getting this shipped out to me so quickly. If you'd like to buy this toy, then please click through the link in the description here. That will take you through to the complete set, which is, I believe, up at $59.95. Of course, you do have to put shipping on top of that. I tend to buy EMS shipping. It generally takes about a week and a bit to get from China to the United Kingdom. Thanks again for watching. If you found this video useful, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, from myself and the KO Oversized TFC Uranos Superion dude, goodbye.